All right, the top 5 Big Ten QBs as we roll on, and thanks to Texas Beat.
Is anybody from Boston College on this list?
No, from Boston College. Why did you bring it up? Why you got to bring it up? Why can't we
I mean like
here's
that.
the deal. We got to forget about it and move on and pretend.
Look back at
now people are going to go look and see that was unprofessional. That was just a low blow.
Bringing him up in the top 5 or bringing him up the day after it?
After, because now, like, here's the thing: this video is going to live alone by itself. And if I could just roll on and not talk about it, then I wouldn't have to bring it up.
Big Ten.
Thank you. Yeah, no, now you're rushing me into it. Thanks.
No, you can do whatever you want.
Number 5.
God, I hope they're all legit.
Taulia Tagovailoa. We checked. Believe me, we checked. Emery and I went through. Taulia Tagovailoa at Maryland. He really has put Maryland. And, of course, Mike Loxley. But back on the map, this is a program that kind of just wandered in the wilderness, especially after they left the ACC. But now I would not call them title contenders, but there's somebody who's doing really well in the conference. And this dude can play, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's all Big Ten and, having a pretty good career. That's not maybe a spot that you would assume is like, a hot spot all of a sudden, or a place where you're going to go see a big time prospect. I mean, I don't know. Just for me, this part of the country, at least, maybe it's different than Northeast. I just don't think about Maryland a whole heck of a lot. But yeah, he's brought them some good exposure. Loxley as well, among others. That was a good program. And he had a really great year last year. A lot of good quarterbacks in the Big Ten as we're going to roll through. But I definitely think, and after a year where he was second team All Big Ten, I mean, yeah, he absolutely deserves a spot on this list.
Yep. Number 4, this one's kind of maybe a surprise, Cade McNamara now at Iowa. But, look, there are 2 guys on this list that have won a Big Ten title, and we're not to the next one yet. But Cade McNamara has and led Michigan to one of their better years and just got supplanted by the guy who's also on this list. But coming into a position at Iowa, I think he's an upgrade. I don't know if the system is going to be any different, but I think Cade McNamara can help them be better on offense, but their problem's not maybe Cade McNamara, but I do think he's going to be an excellent leader for that team. And, you really have nowhere to go but up if you're Iowa on offense. It's just how far up they can get.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously had the competition with McCarthy, then hurt his knee, and, not a very fun, memorable year for him, I think, probably last year, although for the team as a whole it was plenty memorable. But, yeah, I think that with, him at their disposal, Iowa can't see anything but an uptick, you would think, right? But I don't – it's just we're now brainwashed. When you think of Iowa offense, you just think putrid football. And so it's like – I want to get excited about him and what he could do there, but I'm hoping that he really can do something exciting and actually do something there, and it's not just the same old whatever it is that Kirk Ferentz and Brian Ferentz and those guys concocted that was the butt of a joke at least once a week, every single week of college football season last year. So, yeah, for his sake, I hope that his addition does spice things up, and Lord knows they desperately need it. That defense is fan-freaking-tastic, but that offense, again, it was a laughingstock last year.
An insult to their defense, who worked so hard.
It was.
And you talk about non-complimentary football.
Exactly. Now, I will say this before we go on. There's no Ohio State quarterback on this list because we don't know who that's going to be yet because they're in a competition. We kind of know, but they haven't played. We haven't really seen them yet because C.J. Stroud was just the guy for the last couple of years. Now, if I do this list again in, say, October, that guy will probably be on this list because he's probably fantastic.
Probably?
But, yeah. I mean,
he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine. But I don't know who it is yet. So, number 3, Hudson Card at Purdue. I think Hudson Card in Graham Harrell's offense with a Ryan Walters head coach team, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to do well. And look, this was a team Purdue last year that was with Adrian O'Connell in the Big Ten title game against Michigan. Now, I don't really put them in title contention right away again, but I think it's going to be a good team, and I think Hudson Card was a really good guy to go get, and I think he fits really well with what they're going to do there.
I know that Hudson Card is good enough that there were plenty of people in Austin that thought maybe he should have played a bit more.
Yeah.
And maybe felt like he was at times a better fit for what they were attempting to accomplish or do. He's a very talented dude. Obviously Texas in a unique situation there with Ewers, though, and obviously now coming down the pipeline with Arch Manning and the guys in between there as well. So, yeah, I mean, it made sense when Ewers was pretty much the guy that he would go looking elsewhere, and he immediately, once he decided to do so, became probably top 3 target of all of the transfer portal, maybe. I mean, certainly of the quarterbacks. I don't know, maybe of the entire transfer portal cycle, but he's certainly way up there. I'm excited to see what he can do now that he's actually got the reins fully in his hands, and also with Graham Harrell. I mean, air raid disciple. It means they're going to throw it around a lot and run it more than you expect. And so, yeah, that should be exciting. And for Harrell, a change of scenery as well. So curious to see the air raid in the Big Ten and a player like Card and see what they can do right away.
Speaking of the air raid in the Big Ten, number 2, our old buddy Tanner Mordecai transfers in from SMU on his, in his third school, Oklahoma, SMU, and now Wisconsin. Bringing in Phil Longo, that offense there. This is going to be fun because you're going to have two air raid teams in the Big Ten and Ohio State, who is not air raid, but their offense is pretty dead wide open. So the times there are changing when it comes to the Big Ten, and something I never thought I would see was Wisconsin going with an air raid offense, because they were also, and very wisely and successfully for a long time, built around the fact that you need to have not an offense that travels, but an offense that can play at home at certain times of the year. So I cannot wait to see November 17th in Madison, this offense trying to whip it around the yard. And I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be great. Luke Fickell and Phil Longo will have it, but Tanner is someone who can do that. And I hope this helps put him even further up the charts professionally.
Do they have that running back coming back that was so good for them?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that only helps the quarterback, right? Yeah. The protection and what he wants to do. We're huge fans of Tanner Mordecai, and he's also a hell of a football player.
Yeah, you're talking about Braylon Allen.
Yeah.
He's very much eligible. He's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
Tanner Mordecai is a great player. Had a good career at SMU. Didn't see the field much at Oklahoma, and he'll have Braylon Allen. He'll have a big Husky offensive line, and so I'm excited to see how that transfers to Big Ten football. It's a big platform for him. It's a great opportunity, and playing for Luke Fickell, I mean, that's a good deal, especially year one. So a lot of expectations, but I think that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. And number 1, J.J. McCarthy, the defending Big Ten champion at quarterback, and a dude who, man, I love watching play. I really do. I think he's got a swagger about him, and the way that Jim Harbaugh's a very peculiar guy, and he's got a weird energy about him. And so sometimes I think that there's juice in that Michigan program, and sometimes I don't, or it's just because his personality is so different and unique. And I don't say that in necessarily all a negative way, but he's an odd duck. But J.J. McCarthy is someone who has made, at least for me, someone who I will now tune into Michigan, because I think their style of football is a lot more fun with him playing at quarterback than it has been over the tenure of Jim Harbaugh. And look, the sky's the limit for him, and I think he's probably going to have another great year, and can't wait to see the Ohio State and Michigan showdown. But there's other people coming up, like, Wisconsin. I don't think you can sleep on them with Luke Fickell and Tanner Mordecai and running a wide open offense in year one. So there's going to be competition, but J.J. McCarthy right now, he's the dude until somebody knocks him off that perch.
Yep, good player, exciting player.
Well, they're the team to beat in the Big Ten until they're not. So, I mean, there's reasons for lots of excitement. They're on a roll right now. Some wins against Ohio State have just really supremely turned the tide there, and a playoff berth on top of that. And that was a disappointing loss to TCU. But, they're set up nicely, and having him back's a major part of the reason why. Would have Blake Corum back as well, and, a lot of other talent, that Harbaugh's been compiling there the last few years. So the Wolverines are back in the spotlight, and, I don't know how much they ever really left, but they're certainly squarely back in it, more so than they have been in a while, and McCarthy's going to be leading that way. So, yeah, definitely understand the number 1 ranking here.
All right, there's the top 5 right there with Paul Catalina. Maryland, Wisconsin.